Coming up on Cavalier Connection, we'll give you an update on SGA elections.
I'll tell you about Darton's student newspaper, the Cavalier Attitude, going back print.
That and so much more as the May edition of Cavalier Connection begins now.
Built by students for students. From Darton Student Television, this is Cavalier Connection.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for watching Cavalier Connection. I'm Carly Shiver.
And I'm JT Fellows. Darton held its annual Honors Night. Carly Shiver was there and has the details.
Both teachers and students graced the stage during Darton's Honor Night. Graduation sashes, cords, certificates, plaques, and scholarships were handed out to deserving students and teachers. But have you ever wondered what goes into making Honors Night happen?
Well, first you have to plan the event itself and organize, where you're going to have it, when, all of that, and that takes coordination with the president's office and the vice presidents.
Then there is the matter of guest speakers, seating charts, ordering awards, and squaring away everything else.
So it's coordinating all of that, coordinating some music. Once you know who's coming, you have to coordinate all the seating for everybody. And I'm trying to think, and then there's the reception afterward where we have to get together with the caterer and coordinate all that. So it definitely is a lot of work, but I've been doing it for 4 years, so I kind of have it down to a science now.
Every year, Darton usually gets Darton alumni as either faculty or members of the community to be the guest of honor. This year, the guest speaker was Sherman Willis.
Sherman Willis was our guest speaker this year. He is an attorney in the area. Normally, we try and find a Darton alum to speak, somebody who can really speak to the students where they're at as graduating from Darton State. Sometimes we like to choose somebody who actually works here at the college, and sometimes we focus on let's try and find somebody in the community.
Honors Night is about celebrating achievements of students and faculty members. Our own JT Fellows received a few awards and says he feels his parents really helped him accomplish the big achievement, both spiritually and mentally.
Appreciate the hard work and appreciate their, helping me through the journey here financially and, spiritually too.
Students weren't the only ones excited about the outcome. Parents really enjoyed the experience of watching their children's hard work pay off.
Oh, it's awesome. Just to see all the hard work he's put in, it's just rewarding for him. He's done so great, and just seeing him on that stage is wonderful.
For Cavalier Connection, this is Carly Shiver reporting.
Thank you and good night.
The Darton State Alumni Association is offering two $250 scholarships. The applicants must have a 3.0 GPA and show their service in the community and Cavalier pride. Applicants can go to darton.edu and fill out the application along with submitting a 500-word essay about how they plan to be involved on the Darton campus. The deadline for the fall scholarship is June the 1st. You are asked to return the application to the Office of Alumni Development, which is located on the second floor of the K Building, or you can email it to lisa.malinowski@darton.edu.
SGA elections will be held next fall semester, but changes are soon to follow. Our own Jacob Stephen has the story.
Darton's SGA offices are preparing for the next school year. They are planning to move the election date to the spring semester rather than the traditional fall elections. J.D. Roussel, the SGA president at Darton State, explains the motivation behind this movement.
Well, originally it's always in the fall, and when it's in the fall, there's always a 2-month dead period at the beginning of the school year. So August and September, there's really nothing of SGAs going on. So we're going to move it to the spring. That way the vice president and president-elects and the secretary, they can shadow the previous executive council. So that way they get more familiar with it, so that way there's not that 2-month dead period. So the minute the following school year starts, they can just get the ball rolling, and there's not that gap of just blank time.
Moving the election would be beneficial in a number of ways, but student voting turnout could also be affected. In 2013, around 400 students voted out of the 4,000 students on campus. The only question that remains is how will this spring election go? B.J. Valentine, the SGA secretary at Darton State, tells us more about the upcoming spring election.
If students get the chance to go through elections in spring and know what they're doing and they're already in that state of mind, then they can go in the fall. As soon as day one, they can have things done. They can elect their not elect but appoint their senators and have everything done and just get it going as soon as fall hits.
To find out more about the upcoming spring election or to find out how to get involved with SGA, visit the SGA office in the Student Center. For Cavalier Connection, this is Jacob Stevens reporting.
Did you know SGA has the power to make changes to the school? Carly Shiver investigates and tells us all about SGA.
Changes could soon come to the menu at Darton's cafeteria, and students can thank SGA for that. SGA, which stands for Student Government Association, sat down with Sodexo General Manager Amanda Peterson to talk about possible changes.
A student complained to one of the senators, which brought to our attention. We wrote a resolution about it, and we also scheduled a meeting with her. I know there's a lot of complaints about the food and the money. Really, when we had a meeting with her, she said we really can't do anything about the money situation. But as well, the food, we're talking to her right now, and she plans on improving it.
There is still a lot that has to happen before final changes can be made to the menu. Also, SGA has other resolutions that they are attempting to pass, such as a smaller card fee for student IDs, a new bus resolution for club events, and also holding SGA elections in the spring rather than the fall.
For the card fees, it was March 13th. It was passed. It is still incomplete, and we have a feeling that it's probably going to be for a while. That one has to come up from higher ground as far as passing that. But through SGA, it's been passed. We're trying to make way for the better of Darton State students as well as Darton State in itself.
Gil Mora, Campus Life Coordinator, feels the problem SGA faces is students not realizing what SGA is and what it does. He says SGA is trying to fix this by hosting free events for students and clubs to get involved.
Well, the first idea about having the block party was to explain our students about what is SGA and how to get involved. And on top of that, we came up with an idea of having other clubs to share their clubs and promote their clubs to the student body.
SGA says they are trying to reach out and get new members because SGA is the voice of the students and can actually make changes to better Darton. Savannah says if students want to get involved with SGA, they can attend meetings or go by their office.
Our office is located upstairs in the C building. We have a big SGA on top of our office, so it's not hard to miss. And also we have a board. If we're not there, you can also write a resolution or an idea and clip it on there. And once we have like our office times and see it, we try to make a resolution or whatever.
I'm positive that the students now, they understand better about SGA than last year, and we are going to have more events about SGA.
For Cavalier Connection, this is Carly Shiver reporting.
When we return, we'll find out what Darton is doing to help students enter the job market.
And the attitude hits news once again. We'll explain after the break.
When your graduate walks across the stage, it will be a moment you will not want to forget. Purchase a DVD copy of the Darton State College graduation. DVDs of the commencement, nurse pinning, and health sciences pinning ceremonies will be sold separately. You can purchase your copy immediately following commencement for $25 or save $10 by pre-ordering online at darton.edu. For more information, call 229-317-6595.
Thanks for staying with us here on Cavalier Connection. After 5 p.m., a large portion of faculty, staff, and students all go home for the day. However, there are still some folks that hang around campus after 5. Fred Nunnally tells us what is being done about people's safety after business hours.
Though most of our students attend day classes, a large amount of our students attend night classes. When coming to the Darton campus after 5 p.m., students in orange shirts will be on bikes patrolling the campus to ensure the safety of night students here at Darton College.
The Darton Bike Patrol is 3 students that ride the campus for us in the afternoons, Monday through Thursday. They are the eyes and ears of Darton College.
An instructor said Darton police makes them feel safe coming to work at night.
Do I feel safe coming to work? Yes, I do. I do not feel there's any difficulty here because they're on the Darden police are visible on campus.
I also spoke with a student who said he has no worries nor concern with any problems after dark, and he said he feels perfectly safe.
I've been taking night class ever since I've been going to Darden. I've been going to Darden for maybe 3-4 semesters now. Yeah, I feel safe out here, and besides the way I look, no one ain't gonna mess with me. You know what I mean?
Last but not least, Chief Bracken explains what the campus police is doing to ensure safety after dark.
Well, we primarily do the same thing at night we do in the daytime. Our officers have periodic patrols throughout the entire boundaries of the campus. At nighttime, we do have some off-duty local law enforcement officers that come in and help us out.
Again, I'm Frederick Nunnally reporting for Cavalier Connection.
For the first time, the Darton Choir is collaborating with different colleges and the Albany Chorale. Nikki Pope tells you more.
Darton State College hosted an evening of Italian opera. The show featured musicians from several area choruses.
It has been a collaboration between 4 area colleges, Darton State College, Albany State University, Georgia Southwestern State University, and Middle Georgia State College. And they've been working all semester along with the Albany Chorale, which is a civic chorale, and the Southwest Civic Chorus from Americas. So they've been preparing all semester long.
The show was the first of a series of performances. Albany State, Georgia Southwestern, and Middle Georgia State College chorus will continue to partner with Darton's chorus on performances at each of the college campuses. The choruses were able to practice throughout the semester, but they did not get to share one stage until just a few days before the performance.
I was pleased with tonight. It's a lot of people, it's a lot of different elements. It's a chorus which is a long distance away from where I'm conducting. We've got soloists with powerful voices, we've got students singing, and of course to coordinate that with the orchestra. So I was very pleased with tonight's performance. I thought everybody did their best, and it was a good performance.
This wasn't just a normal music performance. Performing Italian music requires a little extra practice for the students.
Had to do some warm-ups and work on diction, especially with the symphony being so big, it can overrun us if we were not clear with our diction and our accents. So we had to go back into the back of the classroom and prepare and work on our diction.
We got our music at the beginning of the semester, which was about the middle of January. We started off just first learning just the music without the words, and then later going through the diction to make sure we were saying the Italian correctly, and then it was like adding layer by layer. We worked on the dynamics of the song, and then we made sure that we cut off together, did not breathe at the wrong place, and then finally adding the orchestra into it. So really it was just one piece at a time, and this is the thing that we got was a really good concert tonight. So.
In addition to performing with choruses from other colleges, the students were able to perform alongside the Southwest Civic Chorus and the Albany Chorus. For Cavalier Connection, this is Nikki Pope.
Students receive valuable information about how to qualify for a job at Darton's annual Career Expo. Brianna McClain was there and has a story.
Earlier this April, students had the chance to receive valuable information and even get on-the-spot interviews with job representatives from different companies at Darton's annual Career Expo.
The reason we call it an expo rather than a job fair is because that not all employers come out will have a job opening, but it lets the students know how they can obtain employment, what employers are looking for in the community, how students can better prepare themselves and position themselves after graduation to get employment within those industries.
The Career Expo featured 42 vendors, including Phoebe Putney Hospital and Consolidated Electrical Distributors. They all included helpful tips for job seekers.
When you're going for a job interview, definitely first appearance, as cliche as it sounds, is so important. So make sure that you are dressed professionally. That goes from hair to makeup to accessories.
I think professional appearance is important, and being prepared and understanding what the company does, using the internet to do research on the company. I'm really impressed when somebody comes to me and already knows something about my company.
Along with appearance, many of the company representatives stress that teamwork is an important factor when qualifying for a job.
Our main goal is to get a team player, teamwork. That's what we're looking for.
Soft skills are definitely important in employees, so things like teamwork, being flexible, being open to change.
Many of these companies are looking for college students because of the enthusiasm and knowledge they bring.
College students are a great base. It's a great entry point. We have strong relationships with a lot of the programs at Darton. So for example, we have a lot of students that are doing clinical rotations at the hospital.
Well, someone who's put the time in to go to college typically is a better candidate because they show the work ethic necessary to take on a task and complete it.
A couple of things we like about the college students are that they're younger and a lot of them are eager to learn.
Even though the Career Expo did not have jobs that interest all students, they still gained good knowledge from it.
Well, I spoke to a guy that was with MediaCom, closest thing that there was to my interests. We talked about internships, we talked about how to get the job, mainly that we had to get an internship first, but
Students have the opportunity to attend the event again next spring and learn what it takes to be successful when looking for a job. This is Brianna McLean reporting.
From a variety of rides to a hot wing eating contest, students had a fun time at the beach party. Kelsey Lott takes us to the event.
People, food, music, fun, and more fun. These are just some of the ways to describe this year's beach party.
Today was great. The band they had cover drive. They did a really good job. I think it was a great turnout. The rides were really fun. The zip line was my favorite, but I think today went pretty good.
Yeah, last year was the first year that we really started getting into bigger and better rides and more things, and that's why we moved it out here on the intramural field. But I think this year was a little bit better. We had an extra carnival ride. We had 3 rides this year instead of 2. Had the zip line. Everybody seemed to like that from last year. We also had the bungee trampoline. We did 2 bands this year. And so I think we added the SGA wing eating contest. So I thought we added some things and moved some things around, and I think it was better overall.
Students also had a chance to enjoy funnel cakes, a green screen photo booth, and food catered from Blackbeards. Mr. O'Kane also talked about the planning that goes into this event.
It's a good solid 2 months worth of planning. You know, not to say that we don't do anything else, but you know, we do spend a lot of time planning it. There's a lot of paperwork that goes on behind the scenes.
Another idea added to this year's event was the tank tops provided by Campus Life. Mr. O'Kane also had a special group of students to thank as well.
The group this year, you know, Milan, Savannah, Brian Kirby, Lauren Toby, those guys, really, a lot of this stuff was their idea, and they did a great job planning it. And I'm just glad to have such good groups every single year.
I'm Kelsey Lott for Cavalier Connection.
We have to take a commercial break, but when we come back, we'll take you to an evening of music and dance.
And don't forget, you can always like the Cavalier Connection on Facebook, watch all of our stories on our YouTube channel. Stay with us.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Welcome back. For the second year in a row, the Darton Dance Program is presenting an evening of music and dance. Nikki Pope tells you more.
Darton dancers took the stage to show off their talent at the spring performance. The show featured both the Darton dancers and the Darton chorus.
We started practicing for this show in January because we already had some pieces from our fall showcase. That's like our audition for the spring showcase.
I would say that we probably started practicing at the beginning of the semester, just moving along with all the songs and adding them one by one. I think tonight was a definite success. It was awesome tonight. I loved it.
This was one of two performances the dance and music department do together. But the spring performance is different from the fall performance because the dancers do not dance alongside the chorus.
We make up pieces, and whichever ones Dr. Delancey likes best, she picks them and we can do them over. And she also choreograph her own pieces that we get to do.
Even though the show requires a lot of practice, they still have to keep school in mind.
It's like an always on professor. So, of course, schoolwork first and then practice later, but it's a lot of practicing and a lot of rehearsing, and a lot goes into these shows.
For Cavalier Connection, this is Nikki Pope.
If you ask a student on campus, chances are they'll have a funny story to tell you about Dr. Barker. JT Fellows talks to students and faculty members to find out what makes Dr. Barker so unique.
You may know him as the man who rides his bicycle around campus, but Assistant Professor of English Dr. Jamie Barker has been a popular professor among Darton State students since he began teaching here in 2011.
He's have a really fun personality, you know. He's really confident. He make you be confident too. So I think that's pretty interesting.
He's more real than most teachers. He's a lot like the students, and he's not so uptight about stuff. He's just a real person.
Some faculty members that I spoke with say that Dr. Barker goes above his call and even holds study halls for athletes.
He is probably the most passionate teacher that I've ever seen, because he works with the soccer team and the softball team, and there are always students in here working on papers and stuff like that, and he comes here on the weekends and helps them.
The study hall that he does is not a normal thing at all. Dr. Barker took it upon himself to create the study hall for the athletes. So it's not something that he was asked to do. He saw a need and he sought to fill it.
Dr. Barker tells us that he does his classes differently because of an experience that he had back when he was in high school.
I just try to treat them as people. You know, that sounds weird, but you know, my experience in high school was I got taught at and talked at.
Dr. Jamie Barker has definitely taken the road less traveled in life and tells us about the struggles he has faced and overcome. Among those struggles, he is a 3-time college dropout.
Dropped out the first time. I had a heart issue. Or actually, it's not a heart, it's a vascular issue. I have a pacemaker now, so I'm like bionic and stuff. Caught it. So like, you know, I got a pacemaker. They ran a test on me that said that my heart stopped between 30 and 50 times every night, and that had been going on for over 6 months. The second time was because I was studying abroad. She was a blonde. She was nice. And the third time I dropped out, I lost 5 family members within a year.
Barker gives advice to students who want to be successful, but are maybe facing challenges like he did.
If you want to be successful with your education, it's not, you have to be smart, but it's not just how smart you are. You have to have grit. You have to be tough. You have to be willing to open the book when you don't want to open it anymore. You have to be willing to read when your eyes hurt. You have to be willing to stay up that extra hour. You have to be willing to push yourself when nobody's telling you to.
At Darton State College, JT Fellows, Cavalier Connection. Darton student newspaper, the Cavalier Attitude, goes back in print. Our own Ariel Mallory tells us more.
For the first time in over a year, Darton's student newspaper, The Cavalier Attitude, goes back into print. Assistant Professor of English and Journalism, Larry Anderson, serves as the primary advisor for the paper, and Darton student Samantha Nagy as the editor.
The Cavalier Attitude is a student newspaper at Darton State College. We write about sports, clubs, organizations, trips, any kind of event that kids can get involved with on campus. It went back print because we tried to do it online, but it was very unsuccessful. We tried that for about a year, and now we're bringing it back in print so students can have the opportunity to write and have their voices be heard.
There are plans to change the name from Cavalier Attitude later on in the semester to express a more positive meaning to the paper.
We do. Mr. Anderson and I were talking about it. We didn't really like the word Cavalier in there because it kind of means a negative attitude, and we want journalism to be looked at as important and positive.
Although it has not been determined whether students can still have access to the paper online, the paper is distributed throughout the campus for easy access.
We haven't determined that yet. One of the problems we've had is that it's crashed. The site has crashed a few times, and we've had some people try to hack into it. So we're not sure yet, but we're going to try to make it available.
Students can also help and get involved with the name change by submitting suggestions to Samantha Nagy or Larry Anderson.
We're going to try to publish once a month, except in the summers. And our other plans are to get more students involved, try to get as many students from across the campus involved as possible.
For Cavalier Connection, this is Ariel Mallory reporting.
We have made it to the end of the show, but before we go off air, JT would like to say a few words because he is graduating here in a few days.
That's right, Carly. This is my final show here on Cavalier Connection. I'll be graduating from Darton State and will be moving to Columbus State University in the fall. But before I left, I just wanted to say thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you to the wonderful group of friends that I have here in the broadcast journalism program. Without all of them, this program would not be possible. Thank you for all your hard work over the past year in starting this show. When I was on set for the very first episode of Cavalier Connection, I knew I was a part of something very special. It's been an honor to serve every one of you as the news director of Darton Student Television. I would not trade anything in the world for it. And I'll definitely be watching Cavalier Connection on YouTube. And I'm very eager to see how the student organization will grow in the years to come. The next person I'd like to thank is Brian Perkins. He's always right. He's taught me so much and has also taught everyone here in the department so much. He's done so much here that goes unnoticed, and I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for all that you've done for me and for the students here. And then last, but certainly not least, I would like to say thank you to the students at Darton State College for always tuning in to Cavalier Connection. It really means a lot to me when someone walks up on campus and says, "You're that guy from that news show. You people do a really good job there. I like your stories, and I appreciate it." So thank you to the students. And thank you to everyone who has made my journey here at Darton State College a special one. I appreciate it, and I'm going to miss each and every single one of you. And Carly, especially you.
Aww.
Best friend.
We really have. We've started this out from the beginning. We were each other's first people to go on air, so this really is sad. But that's it for this month's show. Remember, you can like us on Facebook. Go to www.facebook.com/Cavalier Connection. Or you can stay tuned to our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/Darton Student Media. I'm Carly Shiver.
For all of us here at Darton Student Television, thank you for watching Cavalier Connection. I'm JT Fellows. Goodbye, Darton State College.